say, it looks bad. Can you at least say that for us, please? Say it with me. It looks bad, right? Tweet that out. It looks bad. and press send. At least say that.
You tuned in to the track stop.
Hey, yo, what's cracking? It's your man Lecrae, aka Crazy Crayola, the Bond Servant. Right now, you listening to the Track Stars, Lion Righteous, Shantana, and Jeremiah. I see you, boy. Hold it down. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the field with the Track Stars, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, for all things Track Stars, make sure you go to trackstarswithaz.com. Follow us on Instagram at Track Stars, Twitter at Track Stars, like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also make sure you join the Track Stars universe. And speaking of the universe, gotta wish a happy birthday, a shout out to our very own Michelle Wilson, who is having a birthday today. Normally she'd be with us in Atlanta in the studio, but celebrate your birthday and enjoy yourself from where you are, Michelle. We appreciate you so much and all the gifts, talents that you lend to Track Stars. All right.
Absolutely. All right, so 2020 is off to a raging start. A lot of bad news all at once here. So by now, I assume you guys have heard of the Ahmaud Arbery case.
Yep.
It happened in February, but we're just now hearing about it now because a video was leaked at the moment of the death of the killing. And now the case has blown up. Two of the three people involved have been arrested and set to appear before a grand jury. So this brought back memories. Almost 10 years ago, we did this whole Trayvon Martin thing, and it feels very similar. What do you guys think about what happened there?
I mean, it's sad. It's sad. It's somewhat predictable with where we are right now in our space of race division. It's too much of it, man. It's just too much of it. It's too much of the same thing, the repeated cycle happening time and time again, and it's getting old. I mean, it's it's unbelievable. It's shocking. When something still has the ability to shock you, even though when you hear about it, you're like, oh, I know how this is going to go. Oh, I know where this is going, right? It still has the ability to shock you and put you into a place where you're just like, man, this cannot be the world we live in. This cannot be where we're raising kids and teaching them about, godly principles and how to love one another. And then we can't even see it exemplified in our community. I mean, this happened in Georgia. I've been to Brunswick several times for vacations and stuff like that. So this is right around the corner.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeremiah?
It's a lot, man. When I first saw it, I was kind of upset. I was very upset, honestly, because, the backstory is, like you said, it happened in February. And then when it happened in February, they say the DA office saw it twice. Saw the video and wasn't going to make a prosecution at all.
Two prosecutors were accused. One recused because they one of the people involved was a police officer and they worked in the same situation. So then the second one was forced to recuse. So now it's on the third prosecutor that finally brought it before a grand jury.
So in essence, the uproar from the people made it look like y'all need to do something about this, because if this wasn't a leak, it would have been swept under the rug. Because I mean, at the end of the day, COVID has been so devastating that it's all over the news, and that's all the talk is all we be talking about. So when I saw it, man, I if people don't know me, I'm an avid movies I like movies like The Purge and stuff like that. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things where I like those type of movies. And it reminded me of those type of movies, like Hunted, like you're getting hunted. Yeah. And to me, I was just, I was devastated, man, because I feel like if I can't run, if I'm okay, I understand if I'm in your house and I break in your house and you feel like your life is threatening and execute me. is not right, but at the same time, you're on my property. I understand that. But for you to come upon somebody while they're just running down the street, are they working out basically, and you act like you're the police, like you're not even the police officer, you're a rogue person thinking that you have the right to just stop anybody and basically execute and do what you want to do. That's wrong, man. Like that's just it's just one of those things. And then for people out there saying, well, he shot him because he was fighting back, and I mean, of course you would fight back. You would be upset too. Like if you seen two white guys, one in the back of the pickup with a rifle, and another guy coming towards you. If he has a gun, you're gonna be like, "What y'all doing?" Like you're gonna be like, "What's going on?" Scared. You may be like, "What's up? What you doing? What we doing?"
Yeah.
Now, how much do y'all know about the actual case? Have you actually researched it at all?
I've tried reading up on it, and I listened to a couple commentaries from like Roland Martin and stuff like that.
So just for a quick overview, if you haven't been familiar with it, I'm gonna play the audio of the call, the 911 call. I'm not gonna play the video because it's graphic and just to be sensitive. So if you actually want to see what happens, you can see it. It's online. But I want to play the audio so you could hear what they were saying about him before this went down, and then we could come back. I hope it plays because I just changed my whole setup here, so we'll just deal with me. But I'll let you hear the audio. Basically, what they're alleging is they saw him in a house that was under construction. And he's on the phone with the police, and then they saw him run. So they say he's running, and they were like, and the officer, you could hear her say, "What is he doing wrong?" And they were like, "Well," she was like, "Was he on a property that he wasn't supposed to be?" He was like, "Well, no, it's under construction, it's all open, but he's running." And then there's a second call where you can hear that he was yelling at his son. Like his name is Travis, and I'll let you make up your own mind on it, and then we'll come back and talk about what you think happened here. So just to get the facts straight, the guy said he saw him in the house or in front of the house, looking in the house or whatever, then saw him run. Then they tracked him down, they blocked him off. He ran a different direction, they blocked him off again, and then the encounter went down. All right, so that's the evidence that's out here now. So let's see if it'll play, and then we'll talk about it.
Glen Brunswick Communications, Operator Smith.
Hey, I live out still Shores.
Okay.
There's break-ins out here. There's a guy in the house right now. It's a house under construction.
Okay, do you have your address or that house's address?
Right at 219 or 220 Satilla Drive.
And you said someone's breaking into it right now?
No, it's all open. It's under construction. And he's running right now. There he goes right now.
Okay, what is he doing?
He's running down the street. Call for
Okay.
Back into the...
Okay, that's fine. I'll get them out there. I just need to know what he was doing wrong. Was he just on the premises and not supposed to be?
Stuff on it, and he's been caught on the camera a bunch before at night. It's kind of an ongoing thing out here. The man that's building the house has got heart issues. I think he's not going to finish it. So.
Okay, that's fine. And you said it was a male in a black t-shirt?
That white t-shirt, black guy, white t-shirt, and he's done running back into the neighborhood.
911, what's the address of emergency?
I'm out here at Satilla Shores. There's a black male running down the street.
Where at Satilla Shores?
I don't know what street we're on. Stop right there! Emmett! Stop! Travis!
Sir, hello, sir. Sir, where you at? Hello?
All right, so hopefully you guys could hear that. Did y'all hear everything?
Yeah.
So that was the
It'd be
call.
bad all over again.
That was the call. So from if you notice, if you're paying close attention, if you were watching the transcript that was on, I think it was NBC that I got that from. they got some of the transcript wrong. What I heard that they got wrong was he was saying that from my reading of it, sounded like he was running and he saw a house that was kind of open under construction, so he wasn't breaking into it, but saw a house that was under construction, took a peek in it or whatever, and then continued running, right? This guy says that he thinks he's seen this guy on video before doing something like this in the past. Let's say he has Nextdoor or the doorbell camera thing or whatever it's called, right? Mm-hmm. And he's assuming this is the same guy, so I'm gonna get him, right? That was the idea. What he said to the officer was, the guy who's doing construction on the house has heart problems. He's not going to be able to finish it, or he doesn't think he's going to be able to finish it. So that was his answer to what was he doing wrong. He didn't really have a solid what was he doing wrong. Just basically, we think this is a guy who's been here a lot, trying to vandalize this place, so we're trying to catch him now. Like, that was the consensus. He continues running down the street, so they try to block him off again, and that's where the video picks up that you guys see if you go search this online. That's when Ahmaud went around the truck to get away from them. Saw if you listen very at the end, they also got this part of the transcript wrong. The father sounds like he's yelling at his son because his son jumps out with the gun, comes around the front of the truck, and you can hear his father say, "Drop it, Travis." He yells his son's name. In the transcript, it says, "Drop it, drop it," almost trying to imply like that Ahmaud had a gun or something, but he didn't, right? What he actually yelled was Travis, and my interpretation from listening to that is, "Son, you idiot, stop." That's what it felt like to me. Idiot, stop doing that. It's gonna be bad. That's what I felt. The yelling of a father to a son. You're doing something dumb. Don't do that. Yeah. And I think that's what happened. The father, I think, if he's being honest, I think he realized he put his son in a bad spot. His son did something dumb, and it ended the life of Ahmaud. They shouldn't have been chasing him. They shouldn't have tried to. He's an ex-cop, so he probably feels like he has some right to do it. But they shouldn't have done what he did, because if I'm just running, and whatever you think you saw me do or did or whatever, if you're chasing me in Brunswick, Georgia, with a gun in a pickup truck and you're white, I'm gonna be terrified. Yeah. Just so everybody knows, we are terrified in situations like that. So if whatever Ahmaud did after that point, no excuse for what they did. I don't care if he punched him in the face. I don't care. The fact that he didn't have a gun, thank God. Even if he did, who cares? Like, I'm running down the street. I'm protecting myself from y'all. Right, and that, the fact that he didn't have a gun is being so highlighted, and the fact that he didn't have a weapon is so highlighted. My family, my dad used to walk around in the neighborhood with a weapon, with some sort of a stick or something to fend off dogs or whatever. So if he had that on him when this happened, it would have been justified. I'm just not understanding that reasoning. Who cares what Ahmaud did in that situation?
Here's the thing, man. Like, at the end of the day, it's you shouldn't have justification, or you don't have the right, like I said, to just be rogue about stuff. And these cases are like the Trayvon Martin case is a rogue situation. You hear in the transcript or the voice when the dispatcher do not approach him, let us handle it. And it's like, why are you trying to be a rogue? Why are you? It's almost like, I said this on our call. I say it's almost like the movie Death Wish. You ever seen that movie with Charles Bronson back in the day? They remade it like a couple years ago with Bruce Willis, and it was like you get so fed up with what's going on that you decide to take law in your own hands. And it's like, who are you? If I'm in that situation, I'm like, dude, I'm running. What are you talking about? Like, what's going on? What? Like, get out my face. Like, you're gonna have that negative response to somebody like that because you're trying to figure out, one, I ain't doing nothing wrong, and two, who are you? Like, what are you like? You ain't no cop. What are you talking about? So I think that's the problem that we're seeing, is that people are feeling rogue towards us. Like, they're feeling rogue. Like, I can do whatever I want, and almost feel like they know they're gonna get off.
Did you notice that this is exactly the Trayvon Martin situation? Yeah,
it is.
Exactly the Trayvon Martin situation.
It's pretty much that, yeah.
It's given us a chance to rewrite the history of the Trayvon Martin situation the way this goes. I wonder if they're going to be more I wonder if they're going to be more careful this time in how they select this, right? Because a jury of their peers coming from Brunswick, Georgia, is going to be an acquittal in a heartbeat,
outside of the courthouse.
right? And so the part that I heard in the transcript where I'm familiar with is he said he's parked right there. Was he saying that Ahmaud pulled into the neighborhood and parked the vehicle and got out and started jogging so that he could be jogging through the neighborhood? Because they heard him say something about parked. Was he parked at the abandoned house or the house under construction?
I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Well,
here's in the transcript. I saw that. Go ahead.
Well, here's another thing too. You can look like it's been times when, like, okay, prime example, me and Maya going somewhere where it's like, so going out to eat somewhere to a restaurant, and she may say, "Babe, let's walk off what we just ate." I'll say, "Okay, let's walk." So we'll walk and we'll see a house that's being renovated or a house that's like new house. We may stop and look like, yo, like that looks not, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even if he was running and was like, oh, that's a nice house.
And if most people,
he need to die.
And most people are honest that, I mean, I've looked in like a house under construction. Now it is can be considered trespassing. So let me tell you what the challenge is going to be here. Georgia has a citizen's arrest law where under limited circumstances, a civilian can arrest a person without a warrant. If there's a warrant for that person's arrest, you can't do nothing. If there isn't a warrant for that person's arrest, you have the right to arrest them in Georgia. The problem is it was designed for situations like if you're shoplifting in a grocery store, the manager of the store has a right to detain you there until the police come so that you won't leave with the product. That was the intention of that law, but they're going to use it in this case to say that they have a right. They saw him trespassing. They have a right to track him down, subdue him, detain him until the cops come. So that's where the trick is going to come. And I want to prepare everybody's hearts and minds that if they get off on this, just get your heart right, because it's very possible they can tweak this law. They can work this law in to get them off. So everybody's feeling like this is a closed case. Is not. There's going to be some challenges coming.
Well, I used to work as a night manager at a convenience store, a racetrack here. And it got to a point where I've had 2 instances where I was with another manager. 2 people come in and they steal liquor, and that manager runs after him and try to stop him. Or he did something. He got the cases back. Me, I remember we had 5 guys come to my store and take nothing but cigarette. I couldn't stop them. They was like, "Hey, don't." By that time, they told me, "Hey, my boss and people that don't fight nobody, just let them take it. They'll come back." I mean, we do that, everything like that.
That's a store policy, though. That's not the law. That's the problem. They're going to use the law that says I'm allowed to do such and such. The problem is 2 things. This law is dumb. It's super dumb that you trust a random citizen with a gun to make up his mind that they saw something illegal and then go track and hunt down a person that they think did something wrong.
But is that like the city of Brunswick along?
No, Georgia.
I know Georgia. Okay. Well, here's another thing too, and this is why we talk about voting a lot. I think as a person, and this is something that I have to really start doing as well, local voting is really important, because even though you may not feel like some people may feel like, hey man, I don't want to vote for the president because the blah, 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 whatever. Local policies are getting pushed by councilmen, mayors, governors, all these type of people in your local, in Georgia or every state you are, or a local city or whatever. You may not know laws exist in your city until something happens like this, or something happens and you like, is that a law? Like, I never heard of that law, but it's been in place so many years because of some people who just want to create those type of laws, and they pass those laws. So that's just what I'm saying. Like, it's important to put the right people into, especially in local governments, because that's where you live. Local governments or local and state governments can allow certain laws that go on here in Georgia that don't go on in North Carolina or New York or wherever, you know what I mean? So I think that's the importance of, to say all that, to add that as well. But overall, man, if they get off, I think at the same time, I don't know. Just reading what's going on social media, I don't know if people are like, I think people are happy that a conviction happened, but I don't think they're holding their breath to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the bad part about it is the time that it took for this to happen, right?
Yeah.
The people screaming from their communities all the way back from February to now is a disrespect, it's a slap in the face, and it wouldn't have happened if this had been the other way around, right? And I was talking to my family earlier today, and I was just, realizing that we live in a really messed up place. They let Michael Flynn off his charges this week, right? A man who we know was guilty, who pled guilty to the crimes that he was convicted of, and these were high treasonous crimes that he did, and yet we've got people sitting in jail for life. The young lady who shot off warning shots in her garage, trying to protect herself from her abusive husband, and she didn't fire the gun in that direction. She didn't fire at him, but she's sitting in jail to this day because of that. And it's just like, how do we get to this point where our justice system is so backwards? I mean, and people can make laws and say, well, I'm going to throw this person under the bus because I want to give them more time. I want to give them more of a harsher sentence. And yet we have people that can just get off scot-free, or the president will pardon these people who have really actually gone out and done these things purposely. It's like these are premeditated crimes. And so when you see a situation like this and you see it go in the opposite direction of fair or justice, it's heartbreaking. It's just terrible.
And this is where it comes down to is our white evangelical brothers and sisters. Whenever things like this come up, it always feels a little bit like a rub, because there's this kind of feeling of, well, I'm not like that. Don't lump me in with those people, right? And of course, nobody loves to be lumped in with people. But what's important here, and I've been seeing it, I've been seeing a lot of churches, white pastors, leaders speaking up about this, doing the run with the mod thing. So I'm trying to convey to you how vital it is for you, the responsibility you have as a white Christian leader or white Christian period. This is so important for you to speak up about this, because this is so damaging, so ingrained in our society, that even if you don't like the messengers that are bringing, like Shaun King was one of the ones that got the leak of the video, and turns out one of the lawyers for the people who shot Ahmaud was the one that leaked it to, I assume, Shaun King, which is weird. But you may not like one of the lawyers for the people who shot Ahmaud is the one that leaked the video to either Shaun King or some radio station. That's how the video got out. He said he did it for transparency.
Who reported the video, Sean?
Wait a minute. So the
lawyer of the guys,
the DA.
No, the lawyer of one of the ex-lawyers of the guys who shot Ahmaud is the one that leaked the video. He admitted to it. So anyway,
he feel guilt about it.
Yeah, I think he's. I'm not putting any words on him. He just said he did it for transparency. He's not their current lawyer. He may be. I don't know what his deal is. I'm just saying that's what happened.
Who shot the video?
There's a third person involved who also needs to be arrested. Let's just put that out there. He was tailing Ahmaud, which basically made him locked in, right? So he had two people in front of him, one person trailing behind. It appears that he also had a gun, because you hear it cocked at the end of the video that he was shooting. Should also probably be in jail. Well, no, should be in jail right now. At least be in question. Why were you helping them do this, right? He wasn't involved in the shooting, but he made it possible for the shooting to happen. He should be in jail. All right, so he's involved too. He's a third suspect.
But now, okay, so it's interesting because it almost looks like there was parts of the video he didn't want seen. Right? Was he either driving and not keeping his phone straight, or
was driving? Possible. I have no idea, but it didn't feel like he would. It just seemed like he had a shaky hand, but that's possible too. But anyway, so the point is, our white brothers and sisters and our Christians, this may not feel fair. It may feel like, oh, how come I have to do this and that? It is very important because of our history here in America. Even though you may feel like I had nothing to do with that, it is very important as a Christian to speak up about this and help make a change in this area. Christians for centuries have been around during terrible things that have happened in this country and haven't said anything, have gone about their business, built their churches, collected tithes, and didn't help at all. This is the time to put an end to that and say, I was not a part of it, but I care about this. It has to happen. If you are a leader in any sense, you have to speak out about this, because if you could see that video and say, well, you know what was he doing? And but there's no excuse for this. If you watch, there's no excuse for what happened. And if you can't stand up against this, I don't care who you voted for. I don't care your Second Amendment beefs or whatever. If you can't stand up for this one, it hurts your argument for anything else. Don't witness to nobody. Don't tell nobody about Jesus. Don't tell me to vote for nobody. If you can't stand up and say, in this obvious situation, that one right. And even if they figure out a way to say it was trips. Even don't come to Africa. If you can figure out a way to twist this, and even if they figure out a way to say legally it was okay, you better be standing up on your soapbox in front of your people on Sunday, not just on social media, on Sunday, and say this needs to be changed. This cannot last. This cannot stand. You have to say that. It's a requirement. That's just for the leaders. I am strongly suggesting everybody, if you're a white Christian in this country or anywhere, you have to stand up for this. This is so obvious. It's been obvious. It didn't need a video, but this is obvious, guys. Please don't lose your credibility here. Yeah. At least you can say, oh, I don't have all the facts, blah, blah, blah. At least say it looks bad. Can you at least say that for us, please? Say it with me. It looks bad. Right? Tweet that out. It looks bad. and press send. At least say that.
Your face, man. If I could play that back, it was disturbing, buddy. But I would say this. I think from their standpoint at times, especially when it comes from police, it's always been like, well, like you said, what did he do? What happened? Da, da, da. And I think what we have to have that conversation is experience with police from different perspectives. Like have that this conversation is really overdue in the church. Yeah. It's like there has to be a different approach. It's obvious there's a different approach when a police officer approaches a white family and a different approach when he approaches a black family.
And that's the problem is that I of course, you know me, I always go see what is everybody else saying about this. I went to Breitbart, I went to Fox. Fox News posted stories about this. But if you don't believe there's racism in America, just experiment real quick. Go to YouTube, search for Fox News. They've posted about this about 3 times. The only 3 videos that I saw where they disabled the comments. Why? Why did they have to do that? Why did they have to disable the comments for these 3 videos? What do you think the reason is for that? Wow. That's all we're trying to say, is that when things like this happen, the reason everybody gets up in arms, and even if there's people you disagree with, all those liberal blah, 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 the reason this becomes such a big deal is we experience this all the time in small ways, in big ways. This is just a very clear example, and we're like, that's it. That's what we've been talking about. That's it. That's why this is not just like, oh, we're using this as an opportunity to push an agenda. We feel this every single day. Yeah. Is this clear enough for you? Is this the one that's going to work? That's kind of how we feel. This has to work, right? This has to let you see what we feel on a day-to-day basis, no?
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember, and this is just a personal testimony. I remember being in like I said at the time, with Trayvon Martin, and after the fact when George Zimmerman got off, I seen a defeat in I was working in the store, and I seen every black male that came in there had a look of defeat on their face.
Yeah, after you feel like they're allowed to now.
Yeah, it's like, what do we do? Like I could die. Yeah. Your favorite, if somebody's looking out here, evangelical Christian, your favorite artist that's African American male, that you love so much, that you tell your friends about, that you got maybe a post on the wall, that you're part of their movement or whatever, that you like, could possibly die because of the police approach that they have towards African American.
And here's a caution. And I've seen this. And I grew up in white church. I grew up Republican, all those kind of things. So I'm not what you think I am, if you think anything. But what I tend to see is people, good old Christian people that love Jesus, will go and they'll try and find a black person that agrees with them as justification for continuing on with their worldview. And that is really dangerous. That's really dangerous to find people. There's been people since slavery, black people since slavery, who will side with oppressors. That's always happened. So that's not a good excuse for you saying, oh, well, then this doesn't matter because I found a black person online that says it's okay. That's a bad reason for continuing on with the thought process that you have. There's in some people, it's a natural reaction for them, even slaves in slavery times, to say, well, the best thing for me to do is to side with them because I could survive. You know what I mean? Or maybe they even agree that black people suck. Like there's all kinds of people. That's not justification for you being silent on what's going on here. That's not justification for you to say, well, I don't like Sean King, or I don't like track stars. I don't like, they're trying to push an agenda, so I don't want to side with them. If you can't be fair in this situation, please don't say anything else. I don't want to hear nothing else from you, honestly.
Yeah. I think we're putting too much emphasis on people and their and being Christian, right? And what that looks like, and that there not being a bias of that. And I think that once we are able to have that conversation, we've had this conversation before, right? There's a depiction of Jesus that I think half the people that are Christian believe, and the other half of Christian people maybe don't believe. And the fact is that we're not taking seriously the fact that we are supposed to be loving each other regardless of skin, regardless of race. And that just doesn't happen enough as us being Christians. And that's where I think when Sean always talks about, Jesus said that he wants us to be one. And maybe he won't come back until we become one. Maybe this is our defeat of our own, eternal lives being pushed back, is because we won't become one if we continue this narrative, or them versus us, or us versus them. And if we come together as a body in Christ, I mean, you think about this, right? Interracial couples that marry, they are depicting what heaven is supposed to look like for us. We're supposed to all be family. We're supposed to all look different, whatever. And they're doing that by, mixing different pigments of skin and different features, and they're doing this. But there was a time when being an interracial couple was illegal, right? You could get arrested, you could get killed, stoned for it. And so here we are, we've progressed there. Let's continue the progression now with our faith, where we look at it and we say, oh, okay, good. We're in a place right now where this is Christianity first, right? If you really are a Christian, race is something that you see because you're not blind, right? Your color, your ethnicity, your nationality is something you see because you're not blind, but that's not the first thing you think with. And we got to change that.
Ryan, real quick, I would say this, and maybe this can help out better, or help out with your back of what you're saying. You may lose people in your congregation, African American, the way you respond to this. If you care about souls,
I'll say
about people,
even if you don't
lose them. Yeah,
even if you don't,
you may even lose people because they just see. It's so many people over the years that you heard like, hey man, if they don't care about me as a brother in Christ, why am I a part of this?
Yeah. So and again, I'll just reiterate. I've been very impressed. I've seen a lot. What I've been asking for, I've already seen. I'm not saying it because I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing it. So I just want to. I want to commend that. But you don't get bonus points. That's minimum. That's bare minimum. So just that's what I expect to see. I'm not giving you extra credit for that. That's expected. So if you don't do that, then I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned about not just us, but you. I'm concerned about you, for you. Because they're for you, okay?
Do you remember the story of Christopher Dorn, the rogue ex-police officer, ex-military cop or whatever, that was just killing off military families? He was sniping them. You all remember that? That was when Christian church was just like, this is wrong. Nobody sided with that, right? He's taking innocent lives. This is the same thing. This is the same thing. We're not siding with anybody because of race or because of skin color. We're saying wrong is wrong, and that was wrong. And nobody stood on Chris Dorn's side saying, "Oh, he's justified" or "He's right." Oh, they've been making him out to be this, all along, or they took this from him. They took this out of his life. No, he was wrong, and we all admit to that. And this is the same situation where you have to look at it and say, wrong is wrong. This is an innocent life. He was jogging. And he was working, he was exercising. How is he dead?
And laws can be wrong too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah.
Hey guys, Miracle here. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Make sure you go below, like it, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you follow us on all forms of our social media. Also, check out our website and be sure you spread the word. We'll see you next time.
We know not what we doing. Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom. Yeah. We not through yet. All right. Track Stars Music presents.
Turn my volume up. Turn me off.